Welcome to Lesson 1A. This is our first lesson together, so just a little bit to know. I will be teaching through your Lesson 1A. You need to have your in-class page in front of you. You'll be able to start and stop this recording at any time, and then I will encourage you to stop it when it's time for you to make answers, put out answers, write down answers, or to think. Each lesson should take about 20 to 25 minutes. And I ask that you put a lot of thought and diligence into each of these questions, each of these lessons. Invest quality time so that you can get quality return. So as you look at the top of your lesson 1A, I'd like you to read through the paragraph about this is a class of a community of learners. Although we're an online class, I will still have times that I ask you to reach out to each other and definitely to reach out to resources on our campus. But our goal is that we maximize this learning experience. And part of that is we're going to gather real data. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pause the video, get your data recording sheet, and be ready to answer some questions on it. The first piece of information I need you to complete is question 1 at the top of the data recording sheet. I need you to record your personal information on this, at the top part of this assignment, and all of this personal information is going to be kept personal. This will not have any identifying information when I include it in later lessons, but just the information for our class as a whole. One reminder is when you're converting your height, like from 5 feet 7 to 7 inches, you're going to take the 5 and you're going to add to it 7/12 because there are 12 inches in a foot. You'll need to divide 7 by 12 and then put that information back in as a decimal. It looks like they're rounding to the hundredth, so we'll follow suit. And when I take 7 divided by 12, I get 0.58, which is what they got. Oh, and I've changed my color. And let me get my finger off that part. As you can see, the 0.58. So make sure you do that correctly. When you complete this top part, question 1, come back to the video and we'll be looking at question 2, actually the objectives first. But I do want to note or point out when it says here hours, it's per week, it's not per day. So put in your best guess, your best personal information, and I'll be asking you to upload this to me later. But right now, just take time to complete question 1. Now that you've finished completing question 1, I want us to look at the objectives for the lesson. We will do this at every lesson. We'll have an introductory question, then we'll look at the objectives and talk about what's in the lesson. And specifically, I will be underlining things that stick out to you. I will give you some guidance, like on the first bullet, it talks about data can be collected in many real-life situations, and that's what we're doing, and we're going to use real data throughout our course. An analysis of the data can be helpful to make positive changes in your study habits in your personal life, and an encouragement again to work as a community to seek out people in our class to complete the homework, to study together, even meet outside of our class. And we're going to collect the data from our lives, and we're going to work positively throughout this. Looking now at questions 2, 3, and 4, with us being an online class, some adjustments will have to be made throughout the semester, and this is one of them. But you still need to make note of the word you see where it's consensus. You'll need to start a glossary page, index cards, some way that you're going to remember these words. They will appear on the test and they won't always be defined. You'll have to go in knowing what the word means and how to use it. This word, you need a group of people. And so I'm going to be a group of people, and we won't be able to come to consensus as a class, but I will tell you the selections that my classes have made in previous semesters. So now it's asking us to look at question 2 on the data recording sheet, and then we're supposed to come up in small groups with the consensus on rating the categories, putting them in order of what will most likely affect your ability to learn. Number 1, that's positive or negative, and least likely to impact your learning. And it says don't fill out the last column yet because we would be looking for a consensus. You would pick your top choices, and then in your group, you would come up with top choices, and then as a class, we would come to a consensus. It's an agreement. It's not a vote, and it's agreeable to the group. Then we would discuss the priorities with our group about how we came up with this, and then how we even came to consensus. So since we don't have a face-to-face group, I'm going to ask you to complete certain questions on this question 2 in the data recording sheet. And after you do that, I'm going to ask you to come back and complete 3 and 4, questions 3 and 4, to see if there are any times in your personal experiences where you have been in a group to come to a consensus, and just to make note of that to help you remember the word consensus. So now let's go to question 2 on the data recording sheet. On the data recording sheet, I would like for you to write in, and this will be part of what you submit to me, I would like for you to write in not your number choices, but your actual personal information for the top 3 categories. These 3 are the ones that always seem to rise to the top. That technology will impact your learning. Personal technology, maybe not for the good, but using our online resources could be for the good. Also, the number of hours you work and the number of hours that you sleep. So I need you to complete only these 3 parts on question number 2. And notice where it says number of hours. And again, it's per week. It's number of hours per week. Again, this is a guess about how many hours per week you think you spend on technology, how many hours you think you spend working in a whole week, and the number of hours sleeping. Complete those. And remember, I'll be asking you to upload that entire page, question 1 and 2, to me in our document sharing through MyMathLab. Complete these 3 on technology, working, and sleeping, and then go back and jot down some thoughts on question 3 and 4, and then hit pause. And when you're finished with those, come back and we'll finish up our lesson. Now I want us to complete questions 5, 6, and 7. 5 and 6 are similar. 5 is getting you to stop and to think what around you is going to positively impact your learning this semester. Jot these pieces of information down. It could be that you have a set time every day that you log in and complete lessons. Your lessons are going to be due every Friday at 11:59 p.m. You will have a weekly set of lessons to listen to, worksheets to write on, or your in-class pages, and you'll also have previews and practices that you'll be doing. All of that can't be done at the last minute, so you might want to use time management as something that's positive. Seeking help. We have lots of resources on our campuses. You'll also have the availability of online tutoring, but everything has its limits. So you need to have multiple ideas of how to positively impact your learning environment this semester. Also spend time on number 6 to reflect on what can negatively impact excuse me, your ability to learn. Can you list 3 things that can be negative? And it might be your work takes up too much time. And can you adjust that? Or what are things you can do to help with that? Maybe you're afraid of math. And how is that going to impact you even getting started on your homework? Do you already not have enough time to study? What kind of things are going to negatively impact or could negatively impact your learning in this class? So spend a few minutes to jot down thoughts on number 5 and number 6, but don't stop there. On number 7, write down an action you could take to minimize the negatives, whether that's asking family members to help you with your kids or whatever that might be that's personal to you, to go ahead and get yourself on the right foot for this semester by taking control, taking charge, being proactive of the negative things that could not bode well for you in the course. So take moments right now to think about ways to reduce the negative things that could impact you negatively this semester. We close out your first lesson collecting more data. And this is going to be an approximation, but it's going to be really interesting and fun to see how, when we put all of the data from our class together, how we still get results. We still are able to see information and still be able to write about that, even though we're pretty much guessing on number 8. So what I'd like you to do is to complete this chart, and I'll be asking you to email the information to me. So you'll have 2 extra things to do from this assignment. One will be to upload your data recording sheet to the document sharing in MyMathLab, and the other is going to be able to send your daily water intake to me through email. That way, the email that you use most will be in my inbox and will be less likely to go to spam. So looking at question 8, I want you to start from a Sunday and then go Saturday, sorry. I want you to start with a Friday and then go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of a typical week for you. And notice over here on the side, it is number of cups. It is not ounces. There are 8 ounces in 1 cup, which a regular water bottle is about 2 cups. So with that in mind, on a typical Friday, how many cups of water would you drink? Maybe some days are workout days and they're heavier on water for you, but I need you to guess. And this is also due Friday in my email. And my email address is located in the syllabus, but just put it here. It is stephanie.r.andrews at lonestar.edu. This concludes our first lesson. I am excited about this semester. Check your syllabus calendar to see how many more lessons you have that are due for this Friday. Good luck for the semester. It's going to be fun working with you. Bye-bye.